The Philadelphia Eagles are facing a massive risk that could dismantle our offensive identity overnight. Our star receiver, A.J. Brown, is essentially on borrowed time, and his recent absence from workouts signals a looming divorce that many fans didn't see coming so soon. This sudden vacancy creates a terrifying gap in our lineup, but there is one specific name that can save us. Jordan Tyson is the prospect who has the front office considering a high-stakes trade-up in the first round. If we don't land a premier talent now, the championship window for this team might slam shut. Jordan Tyson is the name every Eagles fan needs to remember right now as we prepare for the draft. The situation with A.J. Brown has taken a turn that most of us were hoping to avoid for a long time. He did not show up for the start of voluntary workouts, and that is usually the first sign of a major change coming. The team can save a lot of money by moving him after June 1st, which means his time in Philadelphia is likely coming to an end sooner than we thought. This creates a huge hole because he has been one of the best players we have ever seen in this city. If this really happens, everything changes for us. Subscribe now so you don't miss the next update. We need a new star to play alongside Devonta Smith, and the front office is looking at this draft to find that person. Our general manager, Howie Roseman, is known for being aggressive, and he has already hinted that moving up for the right player is a real possibility. The team has been adding some depth with guys like Hollywood Brown and Elijah Moore, but those are short-term fixes for a long-term problem. We need a true number one talent who can grow with this team for the next 10 years. Jordan Tyson is that player, and he might be available if he slips into the middle of the first round. Right now, we hold the 23rd pick, but that might not be high enough to get him. There is a lot of talk about trading one of our third-round picks to move up and grab him before someone else does. Dadik pay. There is going to be hey, but the roundy swirl. There is a lie war. That was over one bit of a lie. There is a lot of towels dower, turn narvinower, the minin in pectulik seetabajir, and grab a manjaralov, deploy oven. Thea, I apply thee. Your years da. This is a deep draft for receivers, but the elite talents are rare, and Tyson is considered one of those special playmakers. If he falls because of past injuries, we have the draft capital to strike a deal with a team like the Panthers. It is a simple calculation of value versus risk, and the Eagles are positioned to make a move that would keep our offense at the top of the league. We cannot afford to sit back and watch other teams take the best players while our own roster loses its biggest stars. This draft move is about more than just 1 year. It is about the future of the entire franchise. Jordan Tyson is the kind of athlete who makes defensive coordinators lose sleep because of his raw speed and natural ability. We have seen the flashes of greatness from him throughout his college career, but this new problem regarding his injury history is exactly why the front office is sweating right now. When he is healthy, this young prospect is easily a top 10 talent in this class, but those health concerns might cause him to slide down the draft board. Now everything changes when you look at his technique. He has shown an incredible ability to create separation from defenders, which is something our offense desperately needs if we lose our current star. This young playmaker has spent time learning from Hines Ward at Arizona State, which means he understands the fine details of running routes and finding open spaces in the defense. That kind of coaching is invaluable for a rookie coming into a high-pressure situation like Philadelphia. The gap between his potential and the current frustration from scouts is where the Eagles see an opportunity to strike. The front office knows that if they take a chance on him, and he stays healthy, they are getting a player who could actually be better than anyone we have had before. He has all the physical tools necessary to become a dominant force in the professional ranks, but the risk of failure is always hovering nearby. We are talking about a player who can transform the way a team plays because he demands so much attention from the secondary. If he is paired with a veteran like Devonta Smith, it would create a nightmare for any opponent trying to guard both of them at once. The scouts are worried about those past injuries, but the reward of landing a Pro Bowl caliber player in the late teens is too good to ignore. This young man plays with a chip on his shoulder and a level of intensity that fits perfectly with the culture of our city. He doesn't just catch the ball. He attacks it and fights for every extra yard after the catch. That kind of toughness is exactly what we need to maintain our identity as a physical team that bullies opponents. The front office is weighing the medical reports against the game film, and the film shows a superstar in the making. If the team decides to pull the trigger on a trade, it will be because they believe his ceiling is higher than anyone else available at that spot. This decision matters so much because it will directly determine if we win more games or start a painful decline. If the Eagles do not find a way to replace the production we are losing, our offense will become predictable and much easier to stop. This could help them win more games right away because it keeps the defense from focusing all their attention on just one receiver. When you have two elite threats on the outside, it opens up everything for the running game and the quarterback. If we fail to secure a high-end talent like this, we are essentially asking our current players to do more than they are capable of doing. This changes the entire dynamic of the season because a lack of explosive plays leads to long, difficult drives that often end in punts. We have seen what happens when this team lacks depth at the receiver position, and it usually results in early playoff exits and frustrated fans. Fans should be very worried right now because the talent level on the perimeter is dropping while our rivals are getting stronger. This is about making sure our quarterback has the best possible chance to succeed and lead us back to the Super Bowl. If we get this right, we will have a dynamic duo that can terrorize the league for the next decade. If we get it wrong, we might be looking at a wasted season where the offense struggles to move the ball consistently. The risk of doing nothing is far greater than the risk of trading up for a premium player. We cannot afford to be passive when the window to win a championship is open right now. This move is the difference between being a good team and being a dominant team that no one wants to play. The consequences of missing out on a playmaker of this caliber will be felt in every single game next year. We need someone who can step in and be an instant factor, and there are very few players in this draft who can do that. Choosing the right path now ensures that our team stays at the top of the division and competes for the ultimate prize. Every decision made in the draft room this week will echo through the stadium for years to come, and we need a home run. Let's look at the best-case scenario because it is truly exciting for everyone who loves this team. If this works, we land a superstar who stays healthy and becomes the next great legend in Philadelphia history. He would provide a perfect balance to our offense and make us nearly impossible to defend on every single snap. Imagine a world where the defense has to pick their poison between two elite receivers and a dominant ground attack. That is how you win championships in today's league, and it would secure our future for a very long time. But if it fails, the consequences will be devastating for the front office and the fans. If we trade away valuable draft picks and the player cannot stay on the field, we have wasted precious resources that could have been used elsewhere. It would be a massive blow to our depth and would leave us scrambling to find answers while the season slips away. This is where things get dangerous because a failed trade-up can set a franchise back for several years. The pressure on the young man would be immense from day one, and any sign of struggle would lead to immediate criticism. Now, everything changes depending on how the medical staff views those old college injuries. If they give the green light, the front office will be ready to move quickly. But if there is any doubt, the tension in the draft room will be thick enough to cut with a knife. What happens next could shock everyone because the Eagles are never afraid to take a big swing on a high-potential player. We have seen them do it before, and we know they are willing to gamble when the stakes are this high. The fans are waiting with bated breath to see if we will be aggressive or if we will play it safe and risk falling behind. Playing it safe has never been the way this team operates, but the fear of failure is a powerful motivator. If this move pays off, we will be talking about it as a masterstroke for the next decade. But if it blows up in our face, it will be remembered as a massive mistake that cost us a chance to compete. The margin for error is razor thin, and the entire season hangs in the balance of this one decision. The Philadelphia Eagles are at a massive crossroads that will define the next decade of football in this city. Replacing a star like A.J. Brown is an almost impossible task, but Jordan Tyson represents the kind of rare talent that could actually make the transition smooth. We have the draft picks to make a move, and we have a front office that isn't afraid to be bold. But the health risks are real, and the cost of trading up is always high. Be honest with yourself. Would you trust a rookie with an injury history to carry the future of our offense? It is a question that is currently being debated in the highest offices of the organization. If you want to stay on top of every breaking development with this story, make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel with notifications turned on. We are going to be following this draft saga every step of the way. This isn't just a move for today. It's a decision that will define this team for years. We cannot afford to miss this once-in-a-lifetime chance to fix our offense before the season even starts now.